my experience playing New World again has been pretty solid, not gonna lie. It's a nice game to grind in the background whilst editing YouTube videos or talking to some friends. I, like many others, played it at release in September 2021, and it kept me fairly entertained for a few months with a couple of friends that I've tried all sorts of different games with. Originally they were ARC Tribe mates, I think. Back then I managed to play, I think, 240 hours playtime roughly. I was enjoying the combat and, you know, trying out different weapons. I like to respec my character and try out each build. I like the fact that this MMO didn't lock you into one class or anything like that. I'm pretty awful with decisions, and having the freedom to pay a small cost to respec and experiment is probably one of my favorite things about New World, and similar with games like Borderlands and stuff. I did dabble in the trade skill system a little bit, but it didn't feel as satisfying to me as games like RuneScape used to. So I think when I did quit my 240 hours, you know, I think I did go back to RuneScape for a little bit. I remember my last moment as being level 51, and I was farming PvP faction tokens in Giant's Cleave and kept on getting like killed just before I handed them in. But I think like everyone quit when they opened up the server transfers, and there was like a duplication glitch and all of this, and it was really slow leveling, and I never made it to 60. But yeah, recently there's been quite a bit of hype again about people coming back to New World. I wasn't too fussed about it, but one of my friends who I did originally play with started playing again and wanted us to try it out again. And I've got like unfinished things I want to do in the game, so I was fine to try it out again. I installed it on Halloween, I think, because I like coming back to games during seasonal events, you know. I like having event exclusives and stuff like this. But yeah, I installed it on Halloween, and you needed to be level 60 for the event, I think, and I was like level 51, so I sort of quit again and then came back a week later. So I play in like a group of 3 people. The other 2 people were more interested in playing the game again. Me, I just sort of play whatever games my friends are playing. I don't really mind too much. I think I was playing a lot of Overwatch at that time, so I wasn't too fussed about trying a new game. But yeah, with seeing more content from Brimstone Sands, I was interested to get to that stage at least and try it out. So I loaded into the game again, and I had tons of built up bonus XP from being inactive for so long, and the first few levels went by super quickly, just handing in, you know, side quests. And my first day I basically jumped straight from 51 to 55, so I was already, you know, more inclined to play the game, because I remember grinding from 50 to 51 took ages, and I couldn't be bothered. But now it's a lot easier to progress, it seems, you know. But yeah, like even without the new updates, there was a lot of New World content that I never experienced. I think story-wise I was around the level 48 quest, you know. I haven't made it to Eden Grove or finished Restless Shores or anything, so I had a lot of main story quests to catch up with, which gave me a lot of XP, and I was basically just grinding these story quests for the first few days back, trying to get to level 60, which seems to be the fastest way to 60, because I leveled up rapidly doing those. I was trying out Lifestyle from Void Gauntlet because Void Gauntlet was new to me, and it was pretty fun. I enjoyed it, but mainly I was doing it because none of us wanted to be a healer, and I didn't really mind. And from playing Lost Ark previously, I know how hard it is to matchmake in-game content, trying to get a healer. When I loaded back in, I was still spec'd as Intellect Firestaff Ice Gauntlet, I think, and before that I used to play Rapier and Bow. But yeah, I respec'd into Healer because I thought, well, one of us has got to heal, you know. But there were a lot of weapons that I never tried, you know. I never tried Hatchet, I never tried Great Axe, I never tried Sword and Shield. All of these I just didn't care for. But I feel like whilst leveling to 60, I was trying out all these weapons. And I was even trying to grind my weapon XP, but I found out that doing that after you hit 60 is so much quicker, so that was good info to know. So yeah, I dinged 60 from, there's a quest in Eden Grove where you get, like, fish for a bear, and for some reason I vividly remember this is the quest I hit 60 on, just after the Motherworld quest. Before I quit, I was grinding Windswood Territory Standing, and I told myself, you know, I'll reward myself with the house in Windswood once I was level 60. So the first thing I did when I hit 60 was fast travel over to Windswood and grind my last 2 Territory Standing levels, because I think I was like level 28, and I just did bounty boards and faction PvE missions. It was kind of slow, but whatever. And then buy this house in Windswood that I wanted. I still haven't touched any decorating or furnishing or whatever it's called, but I plan to, as my very like end game, late game thing, start furnishing the houses. And then soon after I had to do the Dynasty Expedition, I think it is, which is around level 55, so I was definitely over leveled, but I was also under geared, you know, I was still using these level 47s, and I was unsure how to get better gear. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to buy it or how I was supposed to farm it, so I just did the dungeon in really shitty gear. After we struggled through the dungeon with our trash gear, then I decided to look at the auction house and buy really cheap gear, you know, and I should have done that before, obviously, but you know, it's a learning experience, and I didn't want to spoil the game for me, you know, by looking at like efficient ways to level through 60. I just wanted to play the game and compare my thoughts to what I did previously, you know, relearn it for myself. Yeah, the main idea was we wanted to get to Brimstone and see what the new area was like, but we tried running to it previously and insta-died by the death barrier, and obviously we found out that we had to, you know, complete the Shattered Mountain quests to get in. So that was a fun experience. It took me way too long, like 3 deaths of dying to this insta-kill before I was like, oh, it's killing me because I haven't done a quest. I thought I was just getting a bug, to be honest. So yeah, we did the quests and then entered Brimstone, and a really nice area, really well designed, very large as well compared to other areas. And quest rewards are really nice there. We started getting legendaries, like I still use the Blade of the 19th currently. We got the quest rewards and I was like, oh, greatsword, I still haven't used this yet. So I was like, well, whilst I'll do the Brimstone storyline, I'll try out the greatsword, and now I still use it. I go greatsword and bow, and it's my current setup, but I'll probably end up respecking like I always seem to do. I like to go through phases and try out different weapons and stuff. It's fun. But the greatsword's a really well designed weapon. I like its AoE and mobility, and it feels fresh to use, you know, using a new weapon. But I didn't think I would like it. I never like big bulky weapons. I like, you know, daggers. I like rogue builds in games. But I've been enjoying it, it's not bad. But yeah, the first thing we did in Brim was unlock all of the shrines, because I like to always have all of the fast travel options available. But then we proceeded to finish the story quests, which was interesting. There was like the stargates and stuff, pretty awesome to be honest. And this pyramid is so cool to like see for the first time, as well as the big giant desert worm thing. That was an awesome encounter when you enter. But yeah, like when I respec the greatsword, I was really enjoying the game a lot more, because I actually dealt damage instead of just, you know, being a healer. But yeah, after finishing all of the Brimstone quests, I finally started learning about expertise and daily chest runs, and although I was really inefficient not doing these before, catching up with it wasn't too bad. Yeah, I'm probably 2 weeks in after coming back, and I have 175 hours in the past 2 weeks. I think I've probably been endgame for about a week and a half, but only doing endgame stuff for a week maybe. And my expertise are mostly at 600, and some of them are even higher with umbral shards and stuff. And most of my time is spent farming for named loot at the moment, but I'll slowly start transitioning into expeditions and stuff. There's still a lot of content I haven't tried, especially trade skills. I haven't touched any except for music, which I've been using for the territory standing buff. But yeah, I will be trying more of that stuff out later when I feel more comfortable in endgame, I guess. As for PvP, I'm scared of it and awful at it in almost every game I play, but I will try it out and try and get some better understanding of that as well eventually. But at the moment, I've got no gear and I have no idea how to PvP. At the moment, the only thing I do are free arenas and, faction token runs in PvP. And I try and avoid it as much as possible. I just take my gypsums and run. So yeah, still progressing my end game, still farming for gear, still all this, but I grinded out Ebon Scale Reputation to level 30 because I wanted a second tier 4 house. This one, probably my favorite house in the game. I always love these like oriental type areas in games. And then I also have been, farming my weapon masteries and stuff, farming different loot, and I'll slowly start trade skilling and expeditions and all of this. But yeah, I haven't been, hating the game. I've been enjoying it a decent amount. I do think the luck system sometimes annoys me, but that's just RNG. So yeah, I've been playing it pretty frequently, and I think I'll keep playing it for a while. I've still got a few things I want to try, complete some builds, start furnishing houses, level up some trade skills, and all of this. I'm not sure if I'm qualified to give it a good or bad review. Personally, I'm enjoying my time playing it again, and I can see how it's not for everyone. At the end of the day, it's an MMO, and there's tons of different options for different types of people. I've played a handful of MMOs, but also haven't touched a lot of the big ones. It's all down to preference, and this has just been, my experience playing it again. See you around. Peace.